Hi, welcome to another episode of Just Saying with. Today, we're with Roland Lim, the Sales and Marketing Director of Sennheiser in Southeast Asia. And we're going to talk about how the audio industry is changing or has changed in the last couple of years. Hi, Roland. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very, very fine. Thanks for having me on the show, Zed.
No worries, no worries. So, Roland, the audio industry, um, it's changed so much, and it feels like it's changing all the time, every time. There's some kind of new technology that's coming out. But one of the big things, or maybe let's talk about Sennheiser first. So you're with Sennheiser Southeast Asia, one of the most well-known names in audio and professional audio. But maybe for some of the listeners that our viewers that might not necessarily be very familiar with Sennheiser, maybe you can give us a little bit about where would one typically see a Sennheiser, or maybe more accurately, hear a Sennheiser?
Hmm. Sennheiser, we have been in the business for more than 70 years. And after more than that, Sennheiser is once again focusing exclusively on its professional business. Moving forward, we'll focus all our resources on our three main core business unit, namely the Pro Audio, our business communication department, as well as Neumann. And we have developed very clear strategy for them. For the Pro Audio, we will consolidate our strong position in the global market. Of course, we'll continue to win over our customer in the live and broadcasting business with reliable audio solution, and of course, first-class sound quality. In addition, we also develop corresponding software solution for optimal workflow for all this application. We see a lot of growth potential, especially in the fast-growing market for semi-professional applications. For example, in the areas of music and audio for video. So for content creators, artists, singer worldwide, broadcast station rental, you can see Sennheiser all over.
Right. And you mentioned, I guess something really important about Sennheiser is now focusing on its professional audio solutions. And so I know over the last couple of years, or the last 10 years, 5 years, I used to see Sennheiser in the audio stores with the headphones and headsets. Is that still a part of the business? Is that still something that Sennheiser does?
Um, For the Sennheiser consumer department, actually, we have carved it out. Why is that so? Is because we really want to concentrate on our core business, which is mainly the professional business itself. So we decided to carve out the consumer products to another company, which we think is actually a definitely better fit to take care of this consumer market for us. For headphones and earphones, for this Sennheiser Professional, we do have also for the professional users like the engineers and for artists. Any Sennheiser headphones that you see with the word Pro behind is something that comes directly from the Pro division.
Right, right. And now going into professional audio, and basically, I think that a lot of people have gained a bit more knowledge on pro solutions or prosumer solutions when it comes to audio and video, especially since we have moved, or a lot of people have moved their operations to work from home.
Hmm.
So typically a person who would get maybe the cheapest headset to use at home now probably is using something that's a bit more, well, professional, a bit more enterprise grade, investing a bit more money in that. How do you think, or where do you think that's affected or evolved the audio industry now from your perspective? That basically this whole COVID pandemic, how has that changed? Has it changed the mindset on how you look at customers or how you design audio solutions?
Yes, it definitely has. Um, this COVID-19, right, it's actually the largest crisis. I mean, for any industry, I would say, and especially so for people in the live performance industry. On a global scale, it has affected a lot of people and their livelihood. It's a very big challenge for artists worldwide because they will need to start to think how they can reach their target audiences. And to be very frank, I've seen performers actually taking up some other jobs, also trying to supplement their income. But many also starts to think and reach out to us on how they can actually reach the audience through all this live streaming. And for Sennheiser part itself, we also come up with new possible solution to help them to overcome these kind of difficulties also. So we have seen a lot of artists doing live performance from all Asian artists to the American or the European artists. It is quite a big challenge for them because firstly, knowledge part itself, they don't really know how to get this going. But fortunately, people learn fast and the industry is always there to assist them with it. So basically what they've done is they've done a lot of live streaming from TikToks to Twitch to even YouTube or even Facebook also. Um, and the good thing right now is that live performers are coming back in full force with a lot of concerts, theater shows in the pipeline. International acts have also returned as well. So basically in this region, we're also seeing big acts back on the shore from a highly sought after the F1 Singapore Grand Prix concert to the like of Simon and Garfunkel. We have Justin Bieber coming too, and a lot of other international artists. So I think this is all very good news for the industry and as well as our partners on all fronts in terms of venue, audio equipment, rental, artists, and of course the musician too.
Right, and I think you're absolutely right there because I have quite a few friends who were full-time live performers, and you're right. And then for the next 2 years, they just couldn't do it anymore, and things have been tough. Things have been tough. Speaking about live performances and concerts, how has that experience now changed in terms of the audio side of things?
Well, during the pandemic period, right, a lot of them actually went into live streaming, like what we talked about just now. But to be very frank, actually, live streaming or virtual concert started way before the pandemic. Take for example, in my knowledge, U2, they have actually live streamed their concert back in 2009 via live webcast on YouTube. Nearly 10 million streams from U2 fans across 188 different countries joined the 97,000 fans at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, actually, making this the largest streaming event in YouTube history during that time. Now with the new workflow itself, I think what the artist or even the event organizer they can do is also have the live concert and do something with the virtual concert streaming together also, and they can reach out to a lot more people, especially right now that they know the technology even much better. So it's a very good way to connect with their audiences around the world and vice versa. And of course, with live show, right, everybody is now so happy to be back. I mean, watching the show live and the kind of atmosphere that they will be facing is definitely much better rather than just a virtual concert alone. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was one of the people that tuned in for the U2 show, so I know exactly what you're talking about. They were basically one of my favorite bands of all time. Um, I totally get it, bringing that experience home. And it is also very different. So if you take that U2 concert and what we can do today and how we can experience concerts today, it's miles apart. It's totally different.
Yes.
How does Sennheiser, or what does Sennheiser do, or what does it bring to the table now that can help basically bring that live concert experience home to give us basically an elevated experience in terms of where online used to be?
Mm. I think what is important, of course, live concert, if you were just to, play it through the standard audio configuration of a headphone or a pair of speakers, it sounds pretty good, no doubt about it. But there are new technologies that can actually make the end user or the listener or the viewers get more engaged with the show itself. And that's with the new technologies. Now, a lot of people are talking about immersive audio or spatial kind of audio. So what Sennheiser is doing, we have this AMBEO team that's developing all these encoder and decoding devices for producers, for post-production company, for them to actually create the kind of atmosphere that you can actually experience from the concert, from the live concert itself to bring it to your home or to your headphones itself. Um, I think this is definitely a topic that is gaining a lot of traction and popularity. Spatial audio actually makes films and concert more engaging and immersive, placing audiences right in the middle of the action scene itself. As for music, it can make you feel like you are sitting in the concert hall, listening to a full orchestra performing around you. I think this is a very huge step forward for both music and audio. And I think right now many companies are also offering this spatial audio in the quest to make 3D audio more accessible. And I think it is very, very exciting to see what will all this engineer do next. Yeah.
Spatial audio, yeah, I think that was first. I'm not sure. Was it first coined by Apple? But I know that Apple was the one that's talking a lot about the spatial audio experience.
Mm,
Definitely, there are a lot of other brands that are talking about it. But I did read about AMBEO technology, and I think it's really exciting also by the fact that it just takes two channels to give you that spatial experience. So for myself, what it also would mean that if I'm at home, I just need two speakers. Am I right? I just need the two
yes.
speakers rather than an entire 5.1 or 7.1
Mm,
setup. Yeah. So I think that's really interesting and cost saving as well. I mean, just getting two speakers, the stereo, turning stereo into basically spatial. Um,
yes.
what about the rollout of AMBEO? Where do you think what where can consumers already see this now?
Okay, to be very frank, right now, Netflix, they already have, I think, two shows that's encoded in AMBEO, which you can watch from the comfort of your zone. Stranger Things, season 4, and there's another show that I can't quite remember. Um, but basically, for all this to happen, right, from the technologies part itself, especially from Sennheiser, what we are using, or rather what we produce, the kind of equipment to help the post-production company to make this a reality is we basically have the Neumann KU100, which is basically a binaural recording device. This has been around for about 30 years already. And also we have invested in a software company known as Dear Reality to give people the tools to be able to alter virtual reality content into this kind of special audio content. Um, of course, we are also working with car manufacturer like Continental to bring AMBEO into the car itself so as to bring the immersive audio experience to the driver and his passenger also. We strongly believe that spatial audio is definitely the future and it will come to more consumer via not just a pair of speakers itself. An easier setup would be directly from soundbars or TV through the binaural rendering. Example, when you watch a movie or being picked up by streaming devices who are also investing more and more into stereo, but also into 3D audio and spatial audio too.
I think that's really, really interesting, especially since you mentioned cars. Brought me back to thinking about, when we were first thinking or talking about cars around, everyone would deck out their cars and then to get the car surround experience. And now
Mm.
you got AMBEO with spatial technology. So, technology has really come a long, long way. I'm really, really excited to see basically, where it goes. Where do you think it's going to go next? What's the next step or even maybe the next iteration of MBO? Where do you think the technology is going to go next that we haven't quite seen before yet?
Well, I think another very exciting word will be metaverse actually. Since Meta coined this word metaverse in 2021, I think it is something that everyone is getting very excited with. To a certain extent, the metaverse actually already exists, especially in the form of gaming. We even see pop star like Ariana Grande holding a live concert in the popular online game Fortnite. VR technology, AR technology, the advances actually allowing the metaverse to be more scalable and connected. There also could be a possibility where concerts in the metaverse could be the next big thing also. And of course, with more and more content creator coming in, mobile journalists coming in, I think this is going to be a world where everyone and anyone can be a content creator or even a mobile journalist. We have seen a lot of new social media pop up. Also, a lot of people are having their own account on TikToks and coming up with their own contents and things like that. And for Sennheiser, what we are doing for this group of people is that we came up with a lot of products that's actually very useful for them. Example, like our wired access lavalier USB-C mic, all the way to our AVX wireless microphone system. So all this can be done or be used by the mobile journalist as well as the content creator. Apart from that, the line for the professional usage has already been blurred because some of our legendary products that are used by broadcast station, example, the MKH416, our MKH8060, all these professional shotgun mic are now all being used in broadcast studio or even for on camera for all this content creator too. So I think in terms of the music industry, um, instead of renting just studio spaces, many up and coming musicians also teach themselves the necessary tech online, often via YouTube and in forums, and they've also become a bedroom producer. So in the past, where musicians were almost fully dependent on the infrastructure that the record companies offered, today they can actually publish on their own channel. So I think that's a very good thing for both the users as well as the listeners and their audiences also. Yep.
Yeah, and not just musicians, right? Even like say,
True.
for example, myself, I think I'm due an upgrade from this headset. Definitely, I think that's for sure. Definitely want to take a look at the line that you have. I mean, yeah. So people who are doing podcasts, all sorts of content creators today, and I think you people used to think, especially if you're doing video content, on how important video is and your clarity is. But sometimes people forget that audio is king, and the most important aspect of it actually is clear audio, and then video comes second, in a sense. Yeah. So Roland, thank you very much. It's been so it's been very interesting talking to you and to see where the technology is going. I think it's great. Very excited to see where we go next with this. So Roland, once again, thank you very much. Have a great evening for joining us, and for joining us today for this episode of Just Saying with. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Thank you, Zed. Thank you all. Thank you.